You ever been there? Just staring at your phone, heart absolutely pounding, and just replaying a mistake over and over and over in your head? Not some big public explosion, but a quiet failure. You know the kind, the one that just whispers in your ear, "You've completely ruined it. There's no going back." Well, today, we're diving into an ancient story that feels like it could have been written yesterday. A story about running from that exact feeling. It always starts small, doesn't it? A little shortcut here, a tiny compromise there, a decision you make telling yourself, no one will ever notice. You kind of convince yourself it's fine, that it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But that right there, that's the seed. That's where the story of a quiet failure always begins. And here's the thing about that small decision, it never stays small. In the silence, when no one's watching, it just grows. The guilt starts to feel heavier. The anxiety gets a little sharper. And even though nobody is actually chasing you or calling you out, that little voice inside your head just gets louder and louder and louder. Pretty soon, this becomes the one question that just haunts you. It plays on a loop. What if they find out? The fear of being exposed, of your quiet little failures suddenly becoming very, very public. So what do? Well, we do what people have been doing for literally thousands of years. We run. We run with distractions, we run by putting up emotional walls, or we run by trying to become someone else entirely. See, this feeling, it's not new at all. We're about to look at a story from almost 2,000 years ago about a guy who did exactly that. He failed, quietly, and then he ran. His name was Onesimus. All right, so let's meet our key players. First up, you've got Onesimus. He was a servant who wronged his master, a man named Philemon. Now, the Bible doesn't give us the juicy details. Maybe he stole something, maybe he just broke trust in a big way. But whatever it was, we know he fled. And then we've got the Apostle Paul, who comes into this story in a way you would never, ever expect. And this whole incredible saga, it's all captured in this short, really powerful letter in the Bible called the Epistle to Philemon. And this right here shows you how little has actually changed. Today, we might hide behind our screens, right? Or we'll create a brand new online persona. Onesimus, he ran to the biggest, most anonymous city he could find, Rome, to do the exact same thing. Escape his identity, just disappear into the crowd. The impulse is 100% identical. Running just feels so much easier than facing the music. So, when Onesimus makes it to Rome, you got to imagine this massive, chaotic, anonymous city. It's the perfect place for a runaway to just vanish, to start over. But instead of disappearing, something absolutely incredible happens. He gets found. Now, check out the irony here. It's just amazing. Onesimus isn't found by soldiers or some kind of bounty hunter. He's found by the Apostle Paul, who himself is under house arrest. He's a prisoner. So you have a runaway who is desperate for freedom, and he meets a man who's literally in chains. And right there, in that completely unlikely encounter, everything, and I mean everything, starts to change. You see, Paul doesn't look at him and see a criminal or some useless runaway. He sees a person, and he introduces Onesimus to this radical idea of grace. And it's so important we get this right. This isn't the kind of grace that just pats you on the head and says, "Don't worry, your mistake didn't matter." No. It's a grace that looks right at the mistake and says, "That happened, yes. And now it can be transformed into something totally new." For the first time, Onesimus isn't running from who he is. He's being called into a new identity. Okay, but this is where the story gets really challenging. And if we're being honest, it gets a little uncomfortable. Because real transformation, actual redemption, it requires a lot more than just a change of heart. It demands action. So here's the crucial turning point. Paul tells Onesimus he has to go back. He has to return to Philemon, the very person he wronged. He has to willingly walk back into the scene of his failure. I mean, can you even imagine the fear? Every single step on that journey home must have been filled with absolute dread, with that little voice screaming that this was a terrible, terrible mistake. But here's the thing. He wasn't the same man who ran away. And he doesn't go back empty-handed. Paul sends him with a letter and this line. This is the knockout punch. He writes to Philemon and he says, "Welcome him back, no longer as a slave, but more than a slave, as a beloved brother." Whoa. This isn't just asking for forgiveness. This is asking for a complete and total reordering of their entire relationship. It's absolutely radical. So what in the world does this ancient story mean for us right now?
Well, it's not just about Onesimus. It's really a blueprint, a roadmap for what can happen when our own quiet failures are met with that kind of transformative grace. It shows us how it can literally rewrite our future.
And this breaks it down perfectly. It's really a four-part journey, isn't it? It all starts with a failure, the thing we did wrong. And that almost always leads to the flight, our attempt to get away from the consequences. But then comes the encounter, that moment when we are found by grace. And finally, the hardest but most important step of all, the return, that brave, terrifying journey back toward making things right. And this is the result. This is the absolute miracle of the story. The identity of runaway gets replaced with family. The identity of failure is swapped out for beloved. You see, his past wasn't erased, but his future was completely redefined. So, maybe you feel like you're stuck somewhere on that path. Maybe you're between the mistake and the return. You feel totally defined by that quiet failure, that hidden thing you regret. But when we look at this story, we just have to ask, what if the chapter you're in right now isn't the final one? And that's the question I really want to leave you with. What if the place you ran to is actually the very place you were meant to be found? What if your lowest point, your quietest, most shameful failure, what if it isn't an ending at all, but the potential start of a transformation you never, ever saw coming?